The floorboards groaned beneath Sarah's restless pacing. Sleep eluded her, replaced by a gnawing anxiety that clung to her like a shroud. Outside, the wind howled, a mournful symphony that sent shivers down her spine. Her children slept soundly in their rooms, their innocent slumber a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing within her. Shadows danced in the flickering candlelight, twisting and contorting into menacing shapes that set her heart racing. The old house creaked and groaned around her, its every utterance seeming like a whispered threat. Each rustle of leaves outside the windows sounded like approaching footsteps. Was she just imagining things, or was there something truly sinister lurking in the darkness? She had always been drawn to the house's antique charm, its history whispering tales of bygone eras. Now she wondered if she had made a grave mistake. Perhaps some secrets are best left buried. The air grew heavy, thick with a palpable sense of dread. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes were watching her, their gaze cold and calculating. As the night wore on, the whispers seemed to grow louder, more insistent. They swirled around her, taunting her with their unseen presence. Sarah's grip on reality began to slip, her mind teetering on the precipice of madness. Dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of pale gold and rose. Yet the arrival of daylight did little to dispel the sense of unease that had taken root within Sarah. The shadows that had tormented her throughout the night may have retreated, but their presence lingered like a bitter aftertaste. Exhaustion tugged at her eyelids, but sleep was a distant memory. Her mind raced, replaying the events of the previous night in an endless, terrifying loop. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The house, once a source of comfort and joy, now felt oppressive, its walls seeming to close in on her. Every creak and groan of the aging structure sent shivers down her spine. The weight of her fear was almost unbearable. Determined to find answers, Sarah resolved to uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences that plagued her home. Perhaps there was a logical explanation for the shadows, the whispers, the overwhelming sense of dread that clung to her like a shroud. Or perhaps she dared not even consider the alternative. The local library, a bastion of knowledge and quiet contemplation, seemed an unlikely place to confront the horrors that haunted her home. Yet Sarah clung to the hope that within its dusty tomes she might find some clue, some explanation for the terrifying events that had shattered her peace of mind. The librarian, a kindly woman with a warm smile and a passion for history, listened patiently as Sarah poured out her fears. She spoke of the shadows, the whispers, the oppressive sense of dread that clung to her home. Intrigued by Sarah's account, the librarian led her through the labyrinthine stacks, her fingers trailing along the spines of countless volumes. They stopped before a shelf dedicated to local history, its contents a treasure trove of tales both mundane and extraordinary. With a knowing smile, the librarian produced a slim, leather-bound volume, its pages brittle with age. "This," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the hushed stillness of the library, "is the history of your home." Section 4. A Family's Tragedy. As Sarah delved into the pages of the ancient book, a chill ran down her spine. The words, penned in elegant cursive, painted a chilling portrait of the family who had occupied her home generations ago. The family, a mirror image of her own, a loving couple with 2 young children, had met a tragic end within the very walls that now enclosed her. The harsh winter had claimed the children first, their laughter silenced by the icy grip of death. Grief-stricken and consumed by despair, the mother had retreated to the attic, seeking solace in the solitude. But even there, she couldn't escape the icy tendrils of sorrow. Days later, she was found lifeless in a rocking chair, her vacant eyes staring out into eternity. The book made no mention of whispers or shadows, but the tragedy it recounted was profound. its echoes resonating through time to touch Sarah's heart. She felt a strange kinship with the grieving mother, her heart aching for a woman she had never known. Section 5. Shadows of the Past. Leaving the library, Sarah felt a profound shift in her perception of her home. The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a tomb, its walls echoing with the silent screams of a family lost to tragedy. The shadows seemed to deepen, the air grow heavy with unshed tears. She saw her children playing in the yard, their laughter a stark counterpoint to the sorrow that clung to her like a shroud. The image of the children from the book, their faces pale and lifeless, flashed before her eyes. The weight of the house's tragic past pressed down on her, threatening to crush her spirit. She wanted to run, to flee from the sorrow that permeated every inch of the dwelling. But something held her captive, an invisible tether that bound her to the secrets hidden within its walls. As darkness descended once more, Sarah felt a tremor of fear course through her. The wind howled outside, carrying with it the whispers of the past. She knew that this night would be different, that the shadows held a power she couldn't comprehend.